A dog's life. Not all animals suffered at the hands of Stone Agers. A graveyard had been found in Sweden that contains a doggy cemetery. The dogs were buried with the same sort of grave, goods that the human owners have, deer antlers, axes, and flint blades, to open the tins of dog food in the afterlife. If they were that respected after death, then it's a fair guess they were well treated in their doggy lives, better than many dogs are today, because they were such a help in hunting. Fuel food. Stone Age humans couldn't pop down to their local supermarket and then shove food into their microwave ovens. Everything they ate had to be found or caught. If they wanted to cook it cooked, then they had to do it themselves. By studying hunter-gatherer people who are alive today, historians who have come up with a rough idea of how early Stone Age people brew up their breakfast, lapped up lunch, tucked into tea, or scoffed their supper. Dreadful dinners, tasty tips for hungry husbands and weary wives. You will need dead animals, enough to feed the family, a stone knife, a flint to strike a light, and wood for a fire methods. Catch a bird or animal, handy hint, hang around beasts of prey like lions. Wait till they've eaten their fill and take what's left, but make sure they don't make a snack of you. 2. Light the fire and build it up to a good blaze. Handy hint. Once you got the fire going, it's a good idea to try and keep it going until you need it again. 3. Throw the dead animal onto the fire and scorch it till the fur or feathers burn off and the skin is crisp. 4. Pull the animal off the fire, slit it open, take out the guts and throw them away. 5. Tear off the flesh and share it around the family. The meat will still be raw and bloody, but don't worry, that makes it all tastier. 6. Serve it with fresh water. You may like to have a Stone Age dinner in the school canteen. Dinner ladies could prepare this food in Stone Age fashion, and you can try to spot the difference. And don't forget your manners. Early Stone Age table manners. Clever cooks. Later Stone Age eaters weren't nearly as crude. They used spoons made of pottery, horn, or wood, and would cook, stew, or joints of meat in boiling water. You may think Stone Agers were as bright as you, but could you solve the problem of cooking without a metal pot? The riddle. You have straw, plaited straw ropes, wood, stones, a stone trowel, slabs of stones joined to make a watertight box, cold water, fire, leg of lamb, and a hungry family, of course. Well, have you worked it out? Or are you too dumb to be a Stone Ager? Here's what they do. The Sunday Stone Age cookery page. Is your family tired of all the same old raw eggs for Sunday lunch? Try this exciting recipe from our super chef. Light the fire near the trough. Put the stones in the fire. Fill the trough with water. Wrap the meat in a bundle of straw and tie the ends with the straw ropes. When the straws are red hot, lift them from the fire with pieces of wood. Drop the stones into a water till it begins to boil. Lower the straw-wrapped meat into the boiling water. Use the straw ropes. Keep adding hot stones to keep the water boiling. Lift the meat out of a couple of the hours. Unwrap the meat and eat it. The straw wrapping not only made it easy to handle the meat, it also meant the meat didn't taste of ash from the hot stones. They could also roast the meat by starting a fire in the trough to heat the stone, dropping it in the meat and covering it with hot stones. Or they might barbecue it on a wooden spit over on an open fire, and trouble was the wooden spit could catch fire and dump the meat into the fire if they weren't careful. And if it could end up black and charred on the outside and raw on the inside. A bit like your dad's barbecued sausages. Do you work out how to cook cave style? If you did, then you make a good Boy Scout or Girl Guide. Award yourself a prehistoric cookery badge. Tasty treats. Stone Agers had to work hard to get their food, so they didn't waste it. They'd eat things that you might have not tried. Cow's udder makes you shudder. Blood tastes good. Feet, nice treat. Brains keeps you sane. Lungs and tongues. They even ate the gristle, so don't complain about those chewy bits in your beef burgers. It's just a good, solid Stone Age protein. Some archaeologists think that Stone Agers caught animals, slit open their stomach, and ate the meal that the animal had swallowed just before it was killed. Youch! Remember that you'll never complain about your mother's cooking again. The bones in the caves and graves tell scientists what animals Stone Agers ate. Of course, you can't cook many of them today because they're extinct, like the giant kangaroos of Australia, or they're now very rare. You don't have to get many rhinos in Rotherham, elephants in Edinburgh, or bears in Bournemouth, as if you did in the Ice Age. So, you'll never know the joy of raw rhino or barbecued bear unless you captured and cooked a little koala. But if you eat roast lamb or beef or chicken, then you'll be enjoying the same sort of taste as your ancient ancestors. Shells and fish bones tell us what sorts of seafood they ate, but it probably didn't invent the ancient joke. I'm on a seafood diet. Yeah, you see food and you'll eat it. Scientists can tell what plants humans ate by looking under the microscopes at the Stone Age poo. The posh word for ancient poo is coprolite. You have to soak it in 3 days before examining it. Just thought you might like to know that. The making of Stone Age treat known as today as frumitly. Experimental archaeologists examined the stomachs of an Iron Age body and made this porridge using the recipe. They got volunteers to sample it, and of course they lived. Gather some wheat with a farmer's permission, of course, and take out the grains from the husk, and about a handful should do.
Stop. It's already 3 minutes.